I am your host, James Yoder. It is the Michigan Football Report. We are going to talk about recruiting news. We've got some transfer portal updates for you and some speculation on what happens next in and around this Michigan football program. A lot of news that's happened today, so we are going to post this video Thursday night as well on the YouTube channel as like an on-demand video after the live show. So if you're watching this Thursday night, you should watch us with the live show as well. So that is the kind of roundup of what we're going to do. Before we do, though, guys, remember last week we had my colleague here at Chat Sports, Harrison Graham, TCU alum, NFL and college football analyst. Well, I want you guys to do this. I want to keep, he was getting bombarded last week by, a couple dozen, and then a few days ago he did it as well. We're going to put his Twitter account in the live chat. It's also going to be down below the video if you're watching this Thursday night, Friday morning on demand. Go ahead if you have Twitter. Hope you do. It's at HGramNFL. It's going in the live chat right now. Just tweet at him, Go Blue, right? You don't have to do anything special. Just at HGramNFL, Go Blue. Click on his account there, the link on it, and just tweet Go Blue. And let's make sure the Michigan Football Report is showing out. I want him to just be terrorized by the amount of people harassing him with Go Blues on Twitter. So give Harrison a Go Blue. All right, first story today is Ernest Hausmann. We talked about him on a show, I think it was our show Tuesday or Monday of this week. I'll have to go looking back, but it seemed that the tea leaves were trending that this linebacker, mid-level 3-star, not anything that was a super 5-star, an amazing player or anything like that, but had himself a hell of a freshman season at Nebraska with 7 starts. He announced today on Twitter that he is committing, is in the transfer portal, and he is officially committing to the University of Michigan. Folks, I think this is an absolutely huge pickup. Now, I didn't think linebacker was one of the top positions that Michigan needed to go after. Later on in the show, we're going to talk about some of the different positions here, but I still think Michigan needs to identify running back, cornerback, maybe a backup quarterback as well. But they've got a ready-made starter. Started 7 games last year for Nebraska, 54 tackles, played in 12 games, right? Started in 7 as a true freshman, 3-star, 2 tackle for losses, and 2 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. Now, where did that 1 sack come from? From this now Michigan Wolverine and former Nebraska football freshman starter. That was against Michigan. He had his best game of the season against Michigan this year. 10 tackles and a sack. 54 tackles in the year, as we said, 1 sack. I think this is just a huge addition for Michigan. So what they've added in the 11 days, this is day 11 of the transfer portal, Michigan has added a starter on the offensive line. They have now added what I think is probably a likely starter on the linebacker core. So I do wonder what this means for Michael Barrett. Is he not planning to come back? I think there's some questions that go with anybody Michigan brings in the portal. Very few guys are going to come in and say, well, you have no chance of starting, right? You at least want to give him a chance. So I'm wondering what this means for Michael Barrett. We'll find out as things play out. But that is the news on Ernest Hausmann. How about Trey Pierce, a.k.a. Fredrick Pierce? He goes by Trey, 3-star defensive lineman, committed last night. Folks, he was committed to Wisconsin for a while, visited Michigan earlier on in the season, about 4 weeks ago now, mid to late November, visited Michigan for, I believe it was the Illinois game. Had, it had been all kinds of turmoil going around with Wisconsin with their coaching situation, whether Jim Leonard was going to be kept on, who's going to be the new head coach. And when they hired a new coach, and it wasn't Jim Leonard, he decided to then decommit and is now committed to Michigan. So what's Michigan getting? A big boy, right? He's not a small guy by anything. 6'3", 290. Prior Wisconsin commit, as you see there, was it number 59 defensive line in the country, number 550 overall. So he's a player. If you think about all the guys that are making an impact on Michigan's team this year, I mean, think about how Rod Moore, Mike Sainristil, those are 2 of Michigan's best players on defense. They're ranked much lower than him at 550, so I don't think it's anything to scoff about by any means there from Fredrick Pierce. He is Michigan's most recent commit, and signing day being 6 days away, a much-needed get for Jim Harbaugh. All right, folks, in a moment, we are going to talk about a top 100 running back that's got people coming at him from all angles to commit to the University of Michigan. And I think you're like what you hear in just a moment. But before we get into that, folks, I want to tell you about today's sponsor, and it is the Fetch app. Folks, we are brought to you by Fetch, the free app that allows you to scan your receipts and earn points that can be redeemed for gift cards in your favorite stores, restaurants, and online retailers. It's super easy to use. You use the app to snap a photo of your receipts from purchases from any store, or click the e-receipt option, and Fetch can connect to your Amazon account, and you'll earn points for all shipped orders. Plus, you can connect your email and earn points for every e-receipt you get from Uber, Instacart, any purchase you make online. Those points can then be redeemed for gift cards at your favorite stores. Fetch is available for free on iPhone and Android. Use our link, folks. It's chatsports.com/fetch. It's in the comments in the description. It's in the live chat if you're watching live. Enter promo code CHAT. That's CHAT. You see it on screen there. Get 5,000 bonus points when you scan your first receipt. That's the equivalent of a $5 gift card. Folks, I've gotten over $60 in Fetch Reward gift cards. Buy myself a couple things off Amazon. Give myself some gifts for people. And it's all free. You just scan your receipts, connect your Amazon account. Free app, 5,000 bonus points only for a limited time. You got to use the promo code CHAT. Go to the iPhone, Android store just by typing in chatsports.com/fetch into your browser. Go download it. Sign up for an account. Use promo code CHAT. 5,000 bonus points. Start earning bonus points for your receipts, folks. Turn those bonus points into gift cards. All right, talk to you about a potential flip. Jeremiyah Love. Beautiful name. That's an amazing name. I like that a lot. 4-star running back, top 100 player, like number 68, I think, overall in the 24/7 Sports composite. Now, Fredrick Moore, been committed to Michigan for a number of months, wide receiver, is a childhood friend of his. They were playing on the same Little League teams. They don't go to the same high school, but childhood friends. He committed to Notre Dame back in October. Now, Michigan didn't really get a ton involved in his recruitment early on because they saw him as a defensive back, and they recruited him as one. So, okay, cool. He wants to play running back. Notre Dame's given him the opportunity to play running back. Michigan wasn't, so Michigan doesn't become a part of his plans. But as of late, as of the past several weeks, Fredrick Moore, Jim Harbaugh, Michigan's entire recruiting staff and assistant coaches, they've been starting to put the pressure on him that with Diamond Edwards likely having only one more year at Michigan, the Wolverines have a big opportunity for a player of this 2023 class to come in, get reps next year as true freshmen, along with fellow, 2023 Michigan commit Cole Cabana. Both those guys can kind of go at it, see who wins that backup job potentially by the end of the year or is the man in the 2023 season. I think what Michigan missed out in last year is they took a few flyers on running backs in the 2022 class, didn't really get a true next guy. You had Hassan Haskins, you had Blake Corum, Diamond Edwards. You've got, 2 or 3 running backs the last few seasons, and next year you still have Diamond Edwards and maybe Blake Corum, and that's the pitch to him right now. So nothing imminent, and I'm not putting a prediction here or anything, but this name has continued to come up, and there's a potential that Michigan might land themselves a top 100 running back, and he'd be Michigan's highest rated recruit by a big margin. So keep an eye on for this one. If he commits, we'll have a video and analyze his film and everything just a little bit more, but keep an eye out for this one. I think it's the biggest, one of the biggest storylines for the next 6 days into signing day. All right, folks, if you haven't yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are approaching 25,000 subscribers, the most watched Michigan football program on any platform, radio, TV, podcast, and, of course, YouTube. And it's all because of you guys, so really appreciate everything you have done. Subscribe today. It's youtube.com/Michigan TV. And, hey, tell a friend. Send them a link. Say subscribe to the Michigan Football Report. All right, guys, let's take a look at where the Big Ten recruiting rankings are shaking out. It's Ohio State number 1, Penn State number 2, Michigan is number 3, Iowa, and then Northwestern. You see on the right side, that's the Big Ten rank, the national rank for where Michigan stands. It's on pace right now to be Jim Harbaugh's worst, or up there with the 2018 class that turned out to be pretty good, right? Hassan Haskins and some other guys in there. Number 20 class as of right now. And unless something changes drastically, I don't see Michigan. I think the best they can get is like 19 or 18, even if they get 2 or 3 guys down the stretch. And that's going into the next week's signing day. There's still Nicholas Harbaugh out there, 5-star, top 10 player overall. That's not going to commit anywhere until January or February. You had him. You had 1 or 2 players in January, February. Maybe you can get in the top 15. But for this December recruiting class, I think Michigan's best potential is to get 1 or 2 spots up. All right, Coastal Carolina superstar Josaiah Stewart. This guy is a freak of nature, and he is a player that I think a lot of folks, when we heard about the transfer portal starting to become a thing and then became a real thing going into last season where you can just transfer anywhere, a lot of people said, well, what's going to happen when one of these group of 5 schools has an awesome player as a sophomore, as a freshman, as maybe a junior? He's just going to transfer to Alabama or Michigan or Ohio State. That's what's going on here. He is an absolute freak defensive end. A couple days ago, December 12th, 3 days ago, so on Monday, he tweeted out his top 3. You guys you're going to be blown away by his stats. I'm going to show you in a second. So LSU, Michigan, and USC. Okay, great, cool. So that's his top 3. But that isn't where he stopped, folks. Then last night, he tweeted this out. Basically, it's the peace sign, which is for, at first I read it, I'm like, what's he saying, peace out Michigan? That's the way I read it initially, and then people in the comments were like, USC throws up the 2 for victors, whatever it is, victory on, and then the Michigan emoji. So the word now in the last 24, 22 hours is now Josaiah Stewart is down to USC and Michigan. Take a look at these stats, right? 2-year stats for the Coastal Carolina superstar. 79 tackles, 16 sacks, and 12 or so of those, 12 and a half of those were as a true freshman. Didn't have nearly as many as a sophomore. 25 and a half tackles for losses and 4 forced fumbles in 2 seasons. Folks, that is preposterous. It's a Michigan-USC battle right now, and I think if Michigan gets him, holy cow, will they have a hell of a player on the outside next year. I mean, his game reminds me of like a mix of David Ajabo and Yabioki. I mean, he's just lightning fast off the ends and off the edge. And what maybe is most impressive is not just against scrub teams. He has had some great games against the best opponents, the best games that Coastal Carolina's playing him. Go into YouTube. After you're done with today's show, don't stop now, but remember that name, Josaiah Stewart. Type him into YouTube, type him into Twitter. Check out his highlights because if Michigan gets him, folks, amazing. It's going to be a hell of a year for him next year. You have Derek Moore, or Yabioki, hell, maybe even Mike Morris. Josaiah Stewart might be the best defensive line in the country. All right, folks, who is your favorite Michigan football player right now? Right now. Let's take anybody not playing on the team because of not playing in the upcoming games out of the equation. So don't say Blake Corum. Clearly don't say Cade McNamara. Don't say Eric All. Let's talk about the guys on the field because I'm starting to lean. I think it was J.J. McCarthy for a little while, but, man, I went back on Monday night, Tuesday. I was like, I just got to go back and really watch this Ohio State game, some of the best plays. I haven't really just taking it all in, right, because we went straight to the Purdue week and everything from there, is those couple runs by Diamond Edwards against Ohio State in the fourth quarter were just absolutely magical. And then a couple runs he had, including that touchdown he had against Purdue, absolutely insane. And I don't want to say this is the case, but there could be a case to be made that Michigan's offense might actually be better with Diamond Edwards as the star running back and not Blake Corum. Blake Corum's done amazing things in this program. I wish him absolutely the best. Hell, I hope he comes back next year. But I think Michigan's got a breakaway speed, 80, 75-yard touchdown ability with Diamond Edwards as long as he can stay healthy. He's playing with a broken hand right now. That Blake Corum, really any Michigan running back since maybe Tyrone Wheatley in the 90s, has not brought this program. So I'm saying Diamond Edwards. Let me know yours. Mazi Smith hearing delayed until after the college football playoff. If you haven't seen this one yet today, it was a really interesting thing because you think that Mazi Smith would have a lawyer who would understand the potential schedule he had. His last week, his felony was pled down to a misdemeanor and then sentencing for December 29th. Now that sentencing has been moved back, so it will not interfere in any ways with Michigan's semifinal game or potentially the national championship game. You saw the tweet here from David Jesse from the Detroit Free Press. According to court records, et cetera, Mazi Smith's sentencing for a misdemeanor, no longer a felony, if you guys missed that last week, will be on January 12th, 3 days after the college football playoff final. So no chance that Mazi Smith's going to miss the game, like a semifinal against TCU, of course, or they didn't schedule it like a day or two before or after the CFP National Championship game, which is on a Monday, January 9th, out in Los Angeles, folks. So big-time news there on Mazi Smith front, and interested to see what happens. I don't think he's going to come back, but potentially there's an opportunity for him if he wants, still does have eligibility. All right, one more request. Harrison Graham, H. Graham NFL. Tweet him. Click the link that's in the description, or we'll put it in the live chat here in a moment as well. Harrison Graham, TCU grad, one of my coworkers. Go tweet at him. Just give him a go blue. Make sure he is feeling the Michigan Football Report love.